YouTube yet. So let me re-welcome in once the stream starts on YouTube. All right, hello, and welcome to another One Line of Code. I am One Lion. So I was streaming this whole time and I forgot to start my stream to YouTube, but it's there now. And we were definitely getting some restream bot activity on YouTube, so I know that restream is working just fine. Open the app that we've been working on, and actually I'm about to the point where we are going to publish this, create a NuGet package, and start working in the lab data helper specific code for it. Okay, so as promised, I was going to tell you where we are located, where this video is showing us, and we do that by clicking on interact. This is Tucson, Arizona. Really? I would not have expected it to look as green, I guess. When I think of Arizona, I think of mostly desert. But this was in April of this year. And hello, Terrier Darts. Are you still streaming? I'm pretty sure I'm following you. Oh, maybe not. That would be why I haven't seen you go live in a bit. But I usually am lurking on your channel whenever I see you go live, and I could have sworn I was following you. Yeah, and President Not Sure is saying there's a lot of desert vegetation. I didn't expect that either. It's not usually very green though. Same here. Same in Denver. I kind of assumed it would look more like this area. But no, nice and green. Okay, onward to the desktop. Let's show the progress that I made over the rest of Monday and throughout yesterday. After I do a git. Ooh. And have that folder open. I have a lot of folders open because I was trying to work with my bot, trying to get it to read the right certificate, and it's just not. I need to pause this. And why is everything all flashy? I don't like the flashy. All right, was the pool successful? Pool was successful. We're updated to our most recent commit. Gosh, there's quite a few things that have also been going on. One thing with Blazor was that I think you guys saw the error that kept happening when I was trying to run the app. And one thing that I found was that in dev you can do this app.use WebSockets and it will work just fine. But now that I was seeing that my certificate was expiring, and that I had a whole bunch of already expired localhost certificates, I deleted them all and got a new one. So I am wondering, and there's all of my trying to get the Twitch bot to work. I am wondering if after doing all that and cleaning up my dev certs, if .NET Watch is going to work better. Pterodart says, I've not in a couple of weeks, been unwell, nothing serious, just the flu, but still enough to stop me, but I'm getting over it now. Hopefully, hope you are good. Thank you so much for the wonderful thoughts and hopes, and I definitely am sending some love towards you, some healing energy, if you want any of that. It's there. Cool. I don't know why this isn't up here. Makes me look in weird directions. Go there. So since maybe you've been around, maybe you haven't been around for a little bit, but we've been working on my work products now. So I am doing Blazor web development for my job, Blazor application development actually. And the current application or functionality or library or whatever that I'm trying to work on is a utility tool that will allow you to take any spreadsheet, workbook, CSV, whatever, and turn it into some class in your application. So what I did is I just dragged in a CSV, it read it, it put it into a data set using data file reader, and displayed that data set here with the data table. So then the goal of the process is for the user, the end user, to be able to specify. So like the application developer will be the one that is currently decides what the target object is going to be, what the target type is going to be. But the user is going to specify how to change the data that they're trying to import into that target type. And so for us, I changed the target type to a lot more simple. The target type is looking for, one of the things that I got working again was when you have fields that look kind of the same, then it will automatically set them up as mapped to copy from to. And apparently I did it for all of those fields except for ignore field 1 and 2. A copy with no field selected is pretty much the same as a ignore. So I could select ignore, but it's the same. And then I opted to default to copy so that the only thing the end user would have to do is pick the field that it maps from, as opposed to having everything be ignore all the way down and then have to change it over to copy for every single one and then pick the field. So I just thought it would be a convenience thing to have it already showing the field. And if a field is not selected, it just ignores that field. So as part of this transformation process, there are probably some rules that the end user needs in order to change from the imported data to the target type. One of those types of things could be extracting text from the value that's coming in. And so here we'll try a regex match of give me only the numbers, which is the one that I go to because it's the easiest where we can see the output, and then interpolate the first dash second number. And we can see what our output is going to look like. And if we wanted to, we could look at the output for every single distinct value in that column so that we can see what they would look like. But then they're like, we actually need the client ID for this as well, not just the lab sample ID. So they can combine fields. One thing that I would like to do is keep that original transformation in this new one, but I'm not doing that at the moment. So we want to, again, regex, number groups, interpolate group 1, group 2, and we also need the client ID concatenated on the end of that. So again, the same syntax, the first field's output, which is going to be the transformed value from this first field. And we'll use a few pipes just so we can see that it's actually doing the concatenation. $1. So I do want a preview button here so that we can see all of the values that we would get back. But for now, it's not showing. Instead, we're just going to have to trust that we did it correctly. And then I don't even have a, if this is malformed kind of thing. So yeah, that'll be fun. So anyway, as soon as I push map fields, then we can go over here and preview what the output would look like. And here we can now see that the lab sample ID output from this first row is going to be the first two numeric groups concatenated together using a dash, followed by a bunch of pipes, followed by the client sample ID. And this is not really a client sample ID. That's the actual well. number. Interesting. Okay, or system, I guess. Yeah, system. But point is, we are seeing that it's generating the data as we expect. One of the things that I made sure of is during this combine operation, I added a couple of tests, but during the combine operation, the number of output rows should match the number of input rows. And that would be in this mapping rule test, combined rules, this one. No. Oh, that was in model test imported data, right? Where even is that test? Test helpers? No. Wait, what? Why is this in test helpers? No, that's not it either. And why did you skip this one? Oh, it's this one. Yeah. Weird. It was probably that it didn't see it before. And a shout out for Clayman Dev. Clayman Dev has been streaming this entire time. He's been going all of my morning, and even before I woke up at 4:30 this morning, he was streaming, and it's now 9:45 my time. So 5 hours minimum plus whatever time he actually started before that. And welcome back, TBD. So last time, TBD, you said that restream was still not working for you. So last time, my full process that does work and then compared to the one that didn't work is I go to YouTube. The very first thing that I do is I go to YouTube and click on go live and then fill in my stream details. Then I go to restream and then do the edit my existing YouTube connection and then pick the new stream that's showing up there. Then I open OBS and then I start the streams. So last time, I promise. Oh, and I guess I did say that I was gonna compare it to the things that I did before, which is I've opened OBS as my first thing. I've opened and then I've opened OBS first thing, and that didn't work. I've started I've configured the stream and everything, and then started the stream, and then tried to get Restream to connect to the stream, and that didn't work. And the only one that has worked is nothing else open except for the YouTube Creator Studio, YouTube Live thing, YouTube Studio, with a new stream that is waiting for me to send data to it. But anyway, shout out for TBD Gamer. TBD Gamer is a fantastic .NET developer working on an application that is going to revolutionize the way that developers and product managers and stuff work together to do project planning and management. It's going to be awesome. It's just going to fill in a lot of the issues that we see with our current project management applications, kind of like Jira, Azure DevOps. It's going to be cool. And so yesterday I think he managed to get something deployed. He was able to get one of the deployments to work, I think. I was mostly paying attention, but I really, really wanted to get this thing done. And I was probably in the middle of writing this test, actually. But this test is the one, I need to break it up into multiple tests, but this is the one that does essentially the end-to-end test for creating an import data file. Where did my UI go? So it would be simulating creating a new data file by dragging in an Excel workbook or SCSV, configuring it, in this way and mapping fields and then generating the output. So all of that first stuff is done in setup, and those can all be like, I already have them set up to be this doesn't look right. Did I not really do a get? I need to make sure that that's not the import. Oh man. Here we go. Import data file tests. I already have it set up so that I can just pretty much take all of this top section and turn that into a test and somehow genericify this, because this is going to be the test data that's used for this entire test class. Then this next one is another test that makes sure that the field descriptors got generated when we created a new data set. Then this next one is to make sure that the field mappings got created when we set the data, when we set the target type is what I said. And then this one was the final results of performing the one thing that this thing was supposed to be testing, which is the generate output data table. I am going to close and reopen Visual Studio because it does look like when I pulled, it's not giving me syntax highlighting, and that's just, it's going to give me red squigglies everywhere. There have been a lot of quirks lately with the most recent release where I'm getting a lot of stuff that's like, this method doesn't exist, but it does exist because I created it. Where's my test? I created it somewhere around here. Right here. And so now it's like, hey, it exists. No duh. You should have just been able to see that. And then I've restructured the way that the generate output data table works and just a whole bunch of stuff. So it's going to be easier if I just close it and reopen it. But there you have it. The tool itself is done as far as functionality. The only thing that's missing are a few transformation operations, like having some kind of conditional branching where if this field says this, then apply this calculation, or then output this other field, or whatever. But everything else works the way that it's supposed to. But if I didn't say so, hello Dukasoft. Thank you so much for doing the shoutouts that you do. You are an amazing, and I love having you here. I hope it doesn't take away too much of your attention from the things that you need to get done. Duka. And Dukasoft will stream again one day, no pressure. But in case you aren't following him, here's your opportunity to follow the Duka. He streams drone footage and amazing scenery. Wonderful time in chat when he's able to hang out. Good music choices. Just a great chill time. And it may be a while before he gets to stream again, but at least if you follow, you'll know when he goes live. Okay. So yes, I am confident with the progress that we've made. I'm going to go ahead and commit this so that we can get a new NuGet package in the local repo, the local artifacts feed. Dev, Azure. How do I do this? Reminder that I will be ending my stream at noon today, which is in 2 hours, because I have another meeting with AWS for some planning. Not pushes. Pull request. Create a new pull request. Completed initial UI components. Hello, Tatea. Again, with the Discord thing, I will give you one more warning, but I've already sent out the Discord link. You should be able to see that on YouTube. I know you can see that on YouTube. Actually, you can't see that on YouTube. Oh wait, yes you can. You can see that on YouTube, and it has the link there, so please don't ask about it again. Otherwise, I will assume you're a bot if you don't say anything other than that, and if you are a bot, I would prefer it if you weren't on. Okay. Added UI components that can be used individually or wrapped in the data file mapper t-target type component. Also added state management class. Which can be managed outside of the component library. And yes, I am still doing this as a pull request to myself. I do like keeping up with the practice of doing pull requests in case I am ever in a situation where I'm working with other people again. But here you can see the changes made, and I'm reviewing them. I'm actually looking at them carefully, but holy crap, dude, 157 files. Are you sure you couldn't have broken this up into smaller branches? What are your feelings? Now that I'm saying that, what are your feelings on a greenfield project that you are working on? Let's say it is in a team and you're responsible for putting the UI together while someone else is responsible for putting the library together. Let's go with that. For your initial library creation, would you still create a branch for each individual component or area? Like creating all of the models, for example, do that in a branch. Creating all of the components that are specific to the data table display, data set display. I can definitely break it up in my head, but I was working on all of these pretty much simultaneously. Oh man. Also, the other question is, does anyone know how to actually run the tests as part of the pipeline? Maybe we'll do that today too, because I do want it to run the tests in order for as a gate in order for the approval, not the approval, but the completion before being able to complete the merge. We're going to complete, and we are going to delete the branch because from here on out, anything new that's going to happen is going to be done as a new task. So the work item 530 is now complete. Where is my, why didn't you associate it with 530? Why does it still say active? I wouldn't have a clue where to start with the ADO. It's really simple. Like I typically use the classic editor. So I get UI for it. So I'm just wondering if maybe there's a test. Run unit tests. Yeah, and then I can tell you. So after .NET build, I would run the tests. I just have no idea how to set this thing up, but it would be the test.dll essentially, and then have test results and stuff. So it's really easy to intuitively kind of poke around and guess. But I was just wondering if anyone has already done it. Sounds like TBD has not, which is fine. Absolutely okay. All right, so I'm going to go back to my boards while that's doing the build pipeline, because this was supposed to have gotten completed. And closed. And so since I've already done that, one thing that I did turn on in Visual Studio is to prune the origins on pool. So right now I'm going to pull latest main since it's merged in already, even though the pipeline isn't finished. And that will not only pull main, but it will also prune my remotes so I don't see the deleted branch anymore. But I do need to delete the local branch myself. Okay, so that is that. We are done with... Why did you close everything? I mean... Anyway, we're done with that. So we're going to move on to the lab data helper. So the lab data helper is going to be the specific implementation. Uh-oh. No. Is this Tatea? Are they posting... Okay, I am going to do my role thing. And that is going to be to add to role suspicious. And then they'll get 24 hours, unless, of course, they keep doing very suspicious things. Server settings, roles, suspicious. Members. Oh. And you will see them show up as red. New post. Suspicious activity. Hi there. Saw you show up in YouTube chat and now in Discord. Kind of seems like you are doing body type behavior. Let's confirm. Tell me what drew you to stream. What things specific to the work we are doing on stream do you enjoy? Okay. We'll see if, oh, right. And I guess I do need to add them. Please respond 24 hours. You aren't able to, fortunately, I will choose to move you from the server. I like to help keep our community safe and free from troll. Okay. So it was only 4 channels that they posted that in, so not too annoyed by that yet. But I gave them 24 hours, unless, of course, they do other things, in which case they will be immediately banned. Unless, of course, you know, Dukasoft beats me to it and he's like, you know what, just ban. Are they offline now? Kind of looks like they went offline. Or they left the server. Wait, what? Did they change their name? Did join 15 days, Discord 15 days ago, so there's that. Definitely suspicious. That's why I'm just going to call it suspicious for now. You know me, I'm pretty lenient, pretty laid back. My initial assumption is that they are not a native English speaker. My second assumption is that they're just trolly and they think that it's fun. And my third assumption is that they're a bot. Change source gen to make the, I think we're going to abandon this. Because the source gen is the thing that sets up the mapping from the enum to the class type, and we guarantee that the class type is concrete and has a default constructor, we will always be able to instantiate a new class for a given transformation type enum member. So I want it to return non-null. That's actually a pretty good idea. I kind of like that. Maybe I won't abandon this one. I'm going to leave it there for our next pass, but a new work item. I overused task, and these could be the wrong types of work items, but I'm sure if this were Liquid Sky or whatever it's going to be called when it's ready for production, I wouldn't be confused on whether to use a task or a story or what the hierarchy is going to be like. It's just going to be, here is a task and here are the requirements for completing that task. And it's going to be written in an understandable, it's going to be awesome. Everyone's going to love it. Okay, so this is add a value transformation operation of type conditional or something. So I'm gonna, of course, assign it to me. I don't have iterations and I don't have release cycles or anything like that. So I would probably want to create some real iterations so that I could manage this better. And then I also don't use tags currently, but again, another thing that would be beneficial if we had a large repository or large team. Okay, where are we? We don't need that open anymore. Thank you again, Dukasoft, for the the final version of this version 4 down here for this table with the sticky header, where we didn't use border collapse. Instead, we used border spacing 0, and then we told everything to have a right border except for the first one that has both a right and a left border. And it works beautifully. Look at that. So if anyone has ever struggled with getting a table with a sticky header and they have this issue with the scroll bar or with the borders disappearing into the header or just disappearing completely, and you can see text behind it, and feel free to check out the code pen for that here. I should have attributed, probably in the table footer, I should have attributed the source where that solution came from, but it'll be on the previous video, so it will forever be in infamy. Okay, so I have that. I have a whole bunch of to-dos in that project, which are good to-dos. We reviewed them and saw that they are things that I need to do, so we will do them, just not today, because the first thing we're going to do is get the product deployed in a working, clean way, and then we'll improve it when we're not on such a time crunch. Which is one thing you'll hear me say a lot. That's not necessarily a good idea, because that's how you accrue tech debt super easy. But as a solo developer, it really can't be helped all the time. Okay. So the build pipeline completed successfully, which kicked off the release pipeline to test. And we tested it. We made sure it's working the way that we want. And so we're going to prove it to be released to the actual artifacts feed. And we're going to get our new NuGet package for this thing called the data file import utility. There it is. File import utility. What, guys? My solar system is offline. Why are you offline? That's not something I need to know now. Don't distract me. Now I'm going to have a text icon on my phone until I respond to that. Boo. Okay, so right now we're at 1.0.948, and this is now going to be 1.0. Whatever this thing generates for us. Wait, it is done. That was 948. So here's 947. This is 948, which is bad because it's going to go into a 4-digit number, and I don't know how it's going to like that. Okay, so 948 is the version that we want to use. So let's get into this lab data import utility, import service, specifically for the using that import tool, which again, I'm going to open source it as soon as we make sure that it works and it's clean. I'm going to make a version that's specific to being able to save the configurations for the mappings to the database, as well as making it specific to using it to import Excel workbooks, CSVs to the thing that our track needs in order to perform the records checks and eventually dump it into the database. All right, so that's where we're at. With that, this is referencing the data import utility library directly. And I think I am not going to do that anymore. The way that I'm going to do that is to exclude from solution. Can I not do that to multiple projects at the same time? I don't think I can. Okay. And the reason that I would prefer to be able to exclude from solution first is so that it doesn't try to update the CS projects and remove dependencies. But I'm not seeing it. I'm completely blind. I mean, I see unload project, but I was expecting to see exclude from solution. Okay, whatever. I'll just undo it from the repo. Okay, so now we have only one Git repo. Let me just reopen. Data import utility. And make sure that none of the CS projects got updated. They didn't. That's cool. So when you remove a solution folder, it removes the projects without removing the dependencies from each other. If I had removed them one by one and I accidentally removed one project that another one was depending on, it would remove that project from. So for example, this one depends on source generator. It would have removed this project reference if I deleted source generator first from the solution. But it didn't, so I'm happy. Okay, what do we want to keep? We don't want the, oh, we do want the sample app again. I think I'm going to recreate the sample app though. And this would be a good opportunity to create a .NET 9 application, but that might not work for me here. Something that I do want before I actually delete those from disk is the secrets file ID. Open folder. From the server app. Which is sample app, U, and CS proj. Not add. User secrets. Pass you over here. And that's it. So now I'm going to delete the sample app folder. Okay, so it would be a good opportunity to make this a .NET 9 project, but all of my apps are either .NET 6 or a couple of them have been upgraded to .NET 8. And I would need to upgrade the ones that are going to use this library to .NET 9 if I make this a .NET 9 app first. You know, I'm starting to wonder if I could have made the data import library a .NET Standard 2.1 app. Wait, that was the right repo. investigate turning import library into standard 2.1. Apparently there were some zero-day exploits on Apple devices, so update your device if you have Apple ones. Wow. Yay. Thank you, President. How do I do that? No, seriously. I thought it would just be as easy as going into settings and general about. Oh, yes, software update. Update now. Do the thing. Okay. Updating. Thank you, President Usher. Oof. New project. Blazor web app. Blazor web app. RMA lab data import service.sample app. I don't think I want to make this sample app also make sure that everything authentication wise works. Although I think one of the things that I want is the user. But can I spoof the user? Gosh. I'll go ahead and do individual accounts. Auto, render mode, global. So the entire app essentially is going to be Blazor server, Blazor WebAssembly. No sample pages, unless this includes the auth pages. If it does, then I'll just delete it. Or if it doesn't give me the auth pages, I'll just delete it and re-add it. Okay, I need to update a whole bunch of stuff. So number one is to give this thing my user secrets ID for this computer. So it doesn't matter whether you guys see this ID or not, because you're not going to be able to use it to get anything. I need some project references to the service. The service gets referenced by server. Yes. So you go there and you go there. Okay. There's a whole bunch of setup that I need to do on the account itself. I wonder if I actually did complete breaking this out for the RMA apps. Let's take a quick glance. Oh, right. Me. Blazor auth, Armit's auth. What did I call it? Armit's identity. Repos, source, Blazor auth. Ah. Oh. Oh. This is .NET 6. No, this says .NET 8. Oh. I was like, why is this thing split up into server client and shared? Okay, here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take the files. Man, but the namespace. Because I'm pretty sure this didn't generate a NuGet package. What all did I set up with it? Have you ever done that before where you're like, I don't think that I did this. And apparently I did. I have it generating a NuGet package. I have it with an entire build pipeline. Yeah, Blazor auth client. Blazor auth server and Blazor auth shared. What? Okay, well, I'm gonna try that. Let's just see what happens if I delete the account pages, because the account pages come from Blazor server. Oops, that's not what I meant. I see. Blazor auth, Blazor server, identity, pages. Yeah, they're all there. Okay, so let's just see what happens if I delete account pages and shared. Keep error, keep app, and then we'll update program.cs. All right. Do you trust me? Persistent authorization state. Authentication state provider. Yes. Okay. All right. So here we go. Manage NuGet packages for the server side, or I guess it's like, server slash main app side, because it could still run as WebAssembly. Oh no. My feeds from its packages. Yeah, those are all the ones that I need. Blazor auth. Blazor identity. Oh wait, no, it was called Blazor auth. Why were you making me feel like I was lying to myself? I accept. And that's enough for you. For now. And for you, manage NuGet packages. Blazor off. Client. Okay, and so the reason that I'm wanting to use this NuGet package is because I've already gone through setting up the email sender, for example. So I have an email sender that all of my applications already have access to. It's a separate NuGet package. It's the Armit's email sender. Email service. Yeah. Armit's email service. This was my previous version of it, and I'm like, it's kind of hard to see when I have all packages turned on, all package sources. So I renamed it to Armit's email service. Man, I did not realize how far I got with this template. So I have an email sender. I have everything that I need that interacts with roles for the way that I've set up the identity server. For the routing pages to point to my identity user, my application user from the other library. Yeah, that's awesome. That's crazy. I can believe it. I really can. And that's weird that we aren't getting the transitive dependency on email service. Hello, Big Gamey. How are you? Happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday so far. Everything is going well. So I was expecting these to be transitive dependencies. But I think I'm going to have to reference them myself directly. I'm going to try not to, see what happens if we don't reference them directly. The stream is bringing you joy. I'm here mostly in spirit, but will return momentarily. Well, thank you so much for your energy being here. Really, really appreciate it. I hope it's hope it's rejuvenating. Do you have a more recent .NET 8? You do not. More recent .NET 8? Okay, so we're staying in .NET 8 for this because, as I mentioned, the rest of our apps are .NET 6 and .NET 8. And the app that I think I'm going to put this in first is a .NET 8 app. The other app is a .NET Framework app, and that's where I would really like to put this. Okay, so we're going to set this as our startup project. Make sure that auto sync is on. All right, so we got some errors to fix because the namespaces are no longer in the same spot for these. And you are also going to be Blazor server. Persisting you. This is your namespace. Wait. Oh, because you have one somewhere. No, you don't. Why can't you resolve that namespace? Persisting, revalidating, authentication state provider. Oh, and TBD asked a question yesterday that I don't even know how to answer, but I just have an intuitive feel essentially for what it is. But he was essentially asking, what is BFF? Heard the term, heard people talking about it and giving their feel and stuff. I could read the docs, but reading stuff is not really what he wants to be doing. And I completely I'm okay with that. But from what I understand, it's essentially, we're not using, I could be wrong about this. I could be extremely wrong about this. But from when I was trying to find out more information about how to implement BFF, you're essentially removing the use of access tokens and JOT and using cookies still. So even though your servers are stateless, you're still somehow able to store all of your credential stuff on the server and not really send it to the client. So all of your authentication state and stuff is still provided by the server, I think. And actually, I might have a YouTube video that I could recommend for that. And it was actually put out by Duende. That's a month ago. This might be more recent, but this thing here, like this presenter, I'm not exactly sure who Dominic Bayer is, but I think he might be the creator of Duende. And I don't typically have nice things to say about Duende. But this video is pretty informative about what BFF actually is. But this one that came out a month ago is kind of looking interesting to me. Ah, that bottle's empty. What happened? I only looked up for a minute. Why did everyone stop streaming? Ardaki, Code Red Games, Guy Creative. We met Guy Creative, I think, for the first time on Monday's stream. And they're currently working on web development in C#, Web3 coding. Shout out to Guy Creative. Nope, if. I told them that we would raid them on Monday if they were streaming by the time we finished, and then I ran away or something. And I didn't see. No, I think it was Emporium Guy. If Emporium Guy started, I don't remember who it was, but yeah, we may raid them today if they are still streaming in an hour and a half and see what they're working on. They have a setup where they have 4 monitors, it looks like. Maybe 5. In a command center style kind of arrangement. Hi, what are we building? So welcome in. Is it just Jan? John? Or would you just want me to call you Ninja Batman? Because that's awesome. I love Ninja Batman. I'm not wearing my Batman shirt today. That would have been even more better. So we're working on a data import utility project. And this data import utility project is for my work. So I'm creating it for users at the place that I work at so that they can import CSV or Excel files and turn them into database records in the end. That's the primary goal. I finished creating the data import utility library, the first pass of it that has all of the basic functionality. It's working nice, it's working clean. So now I am going to make the specific version for importing lab data because that's what their use case is going to be. We send soil and water samples out to various labs to get them tested. and the lab sends us back the results of those tests. Until recently, we've only had one lab that did the test for us, and we knew what format the data came back to us from, or was in, and it's called a transfer file, and it's a fixed width text file that we're expecting things to be in specific order and columns, or lengths of spaces in a given row. And now we need the ability to have any other lab that we have that we have access to be able to just send us back the data and give us back the and then we transform that data that they give us back into this one that the application can actually read and do stuff with. So we're on the second half of that, which is now creating the library that will be used. So I'm creating it as a library because there are going to be a couple of applications that this might fit into. R-Track is the first one, and I keep going to test thinking that I told this thing to switch over to the yeah, let me just see if that's what's going on, to switch over to the one that I'm trying to update. Fixed with text file. Oh man. If you're okay with it and you feel like looking at it, I'm going to open up the R-Track application. So what I was trying to say about this app is that it's currently .NET Framework on production. Oh, and I did tell this one to switch over to .NET Framework. It was just cached. Okay, good. So we can use the test version. R-Track. Part of my job, by the way, I'm the only developer at this site working on these applications and maintaining them, fixing bugs, and updating them to latest versions and all of that stuff. This is my old code style, which is curly braces on the same line, 2 space tabs, blah, 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 blah. I've since changed to curly braces on new lines, 4 space tabs. There's still spaces instead of tabs, but that's just how I work. So anyway, I have, when I first got here, all of these applications were either JSP applications or VB6. So we had 3 VB6 desktop applications. My job was to turn those from JSP and VB6 into modern .NET technologies, which at the time I was using .NET Framework. .NET Core 2.1 was out, but I hadn't had any experience with it. So when I converted them, I was like, the fastest thing for me to do is convert them from these JSP apps into MVC, .NET MVC applications using .NET Framework 4.7.2 with Entity Framework 6, and went from there. They went from .NET Framework applications to .NET Core applications to Blazor. Oh, and the desktop apps went from VB6 to VB.NET WinForms apps using .NET Framework, and then became Blazor apps with only one remaining that is a VB.NET WinForms .NET Framework app. And this app and Vegemon are both still MVC applications with .NET Framework. Whew, did I get it all out? So this is the file read process. That's loading the file from the server. TRN controller. Download. So this application needs a lot of love, is what I'm about to show you. A lot of the processes in here, as you can see here, are still stored procedures. and I am running those stored procedures using interpolated strings. But this one is okay because the way that Entity Framework 6 did these execute SQL commands with an interpolated string is that it works the same as if we did a string format or a regular string with placeholders, at params, and then provided these as parameters. These get turned into SQL parameters. So it's not like just anything that you have in here for lab or lot is going to get dumped into the database. Like semicolon or close quote, semicolon, dash, dash, whatever. But I still want to get rid of those. I would rather have this logic in the app directly, since this is the only app that uses these stored procedures. It's a lot easier for me to maintain them in C#. I just remember I was running out of time, so I wasn't able to convert those. I did it with all of the other apps, and then this one, of course, still being .NET Framework, you can tell that I ran out of time for it. Which one of you is it? Lots controller? Upload. Here it is. Okay, so here is what you would expect for a fixed width file logic. Give me every row, and then in that row, give me the text from 0 to whatever place in that row is supposed to represent the date, whatever place in that is supposed to represent this next piece of information, and then do all of the string convert, all of that stuff. And then create an object based off of those that you get back. But yeah, this TRN controller here, this is essentially the step that we're going to need to reproduce with the files that we get back from the other labs, which is to somehow transform them into the right type of record and then send that record through all of these tests. That, or not tests, but sanity checks. Although this is add sample, delete sample, so that's not right. Where's the record check? Record check. Here's the actual stored procedure. So what you can see inside of this stored procedure is that it, oh, these are all of the stored procedures. Where was record check? CSP underscore. Okay, so inside of record check, for example, it calls this stored procedure. Inside of this stored procedure, which is not actually listed in this list of stored procedures, it calls other stored procedures. Inside of this stored procedure, which again is not in this file, I thought all of the stored procedures were in here, it calls other stored procedures. So you have kind of this hierarchy of executing these methods, which is cool. I mean, I can think about that from a programming perspective, but it is not easy to debug. So I'd rather have it in C# code, as I was saying. And then some of these have hard-coded email addresses that no longer are valid. And yeah, I'd have to go into the stored procedure to update those. How did you get to using fixed width text file instead of CSV or something else? Again, these apps existed before I got here. My job was to convert them from Java to .NET, essentially. Upgrading and improving the processes, that was only if I had time, but I needed to get all. So this is one app of a bunch of apps. So water management, desktop application, Vegemon, that's the other .NET Framework still, web application. Treatment plan upload, that was easy. That just got absorbed into water management when it was a desktop, or when I already moved it into Blazor.NET 8, blah, blah, blah. Now it's a web app. DDMS was a desktop app, is now a Blazor app. EDTC, I converted it to .NET Framework, and then they're like, we don't want that app anymore. So after the conversion, we aren't even using the app anymore. HasTrack, again, desktop app, Blazor. Lysimeter, converted it to .NET Framework. They're like, we don't want to use that app anymore. SQL Web is my favorite one. This was a way for users to be able to log into a web interface to do SQL commands and queries. And I'm like, I don't want that app. I converted it for them and I got it working, and it was all behind authentication and stuff. So you couldn't do stuff with the app directly unless you were able to log in and you had the right database permissions. But I was like, this is highly insecure. I don't want to use this app. Can we have another approach? So I gave them another approach. Sample tracking, RMA water, RMA chain of custody. And yeah, that's all of them. So all of those apps are ones that I maintain as a solo dev. So as you can see, I have high aspirations for wanting to improve the applications, but there are so many that I need to maintain and manage that I don't really have the luxury of being able to take my time doing that yet. And especially now that we have this new effort that I'm trying to complete that was supposed to be complete a month and a half ago. So anyway, that's where we're at. ASP.NET Core identity context. We do have the transitive dependencies. That's good. And then application users comes from ASP.NET Core identity models. Whoops. Models. Awesome. Okay, so why aren't you getting picked up? What I think I saw is that this is not the same name. Did I... Oh, persisting server. I added the word server in here. I'm gonna have to remember that in the future. What did you used to be called? Persisting revalidating? Yeah, so that didn't make sense to me calling it the persisting revalidating. And then the client side is called persistent authentication state provider. And it was just, it was confusing. What else? What else? There's a whole bunch of other configurations that I need to do in here, but right now I'm just cleaning up the errors. What I did was I created a new Blazor web app project using .NET 8, because again, my existing apps are either .NET 6 or .NET 8, and I'm not ready to do the effort to take them to .NET 9, because I still need to get the rest of them to .NET 8. But getting them to .NET 9 should be as simple as changing the target framework and then updating the NuGet packages. We've done a .NET 7 to .NET 8 upgrade. Worked fine. Yeah. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Let's find out where else I might need to add some stuff. Oh, why didn't that show up? We need more assemblies. So one of them was client imports. One of them is going to be, we just stick with LTS at work, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, because right now it's a lot of work to upgrade one app because of this whole template structure change. I don't really use the applications themselves for much, but I do want to get Duende Identity Server out of the rest of the applications, and the easiest way for me to do that is to create a brand new Blazor web app and set everything up the way that I'm setting this one up, essentially. Blazor auth. It's Blazor auth client. client server imports. Assembly. Okay, so what this is doing is it's essentially setting up the Blazor auth NuGet package that has all of my UI for the authentication stuff so that they can have the routable endpoints mapped to them. The other thing that I wanted here is use WebSockets, something that has been happening in my other projects. The thing that I was talking about at the beginning of the stream is I was getting some could not connect to the WSS : / localhost blah 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 blah, and a fix that I found for that was app.use WebSockets, and suddenly it's able to do the WebSocket connection for things like hot reload. Dukasoft is saying the only issue I had with upgrading, I like upgrading, to Net9 was created by myself. I forgot to change the Docker file to Net9. Yeah, so I'm gonna forget that. I had to do it when I did the .NET 8 upgrade, which was to install the install the server. What is it even called? The hosted Net9 runtime. I don't know where my browsers went. I have so many browsers open. I don't know which one of you is the one that's on screen. You. The Danish word is upgradering. Upgradering? I wouldn't know how to pronounce it. .NET. Download all net versions. This thingy. Hosting bundle. So I need to install this on my servers because I am running IIS to host the apps in the cloud in EC2 instances, which I'm talking with AWS today about to see if maybe I can restructure the applications to help save on cost, or if we can just do something like reserved instances or whatever else they're going to recommend to us. Right. I don't need to remember all of the things. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I have one helper method, one extension that does all of the setup for authentication. Oh man. Cascading authentication. Oh man, I thought I had more than this. See, now I'm like, one of them is, I assume that I didn't do very much with it, and it turns out that I did a lot. And this one, I assume that I at least did the authentication. I didn't. So this add authentication, all this stuff. Identity user accessor, identity manager. Man, I really thought all of these were included. I am in server, right? I am in server. Not even the authentication state provider. Okay, so I'm keeping all of those, but the thing that I did do up here is added my database connections. Don't worry about the connection string. Oh, actually do worry about the connection string. I called this ASP.NET for identity connection, I think. I'll have to check my user secrets real quick. Managed Oh, I wouldn't have it in this one anyway. Save. Manage user secrets. Yeah, I only have my lab data import connection. I need another project. I don't need another project. How about armywater.net 8? Lid's still on. That would have hurt. Manage user cigarettes. This will give me my email sender stuff. This will give me my database connections. And connection strings. My identity connection, and I need the userman connection too. Oh, this is kind of difficult. Trust server certificates, multiple active results sets, integrated security. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way. Yeah. Database is that import utility when we get to that one. Okay, save that. And now my email sender stuff. I need to copy and copy. And copy. And copy. Okay, so identity connection and Armit's suite connection, according to what's on the screen. And so I'm calling all of the apps, if you couldn't tell, Armit's suite. This is the user management database, I want to say. Change server to this. Copy all this. No longer trusted connection because you need to log in. Change this server. Sorry, I'm doing all of this work off screen, but I don't want to show you my secrets. Comment. Armit suite connection, user management, the test database version, and the local version. Pasta, comma, comment, you. Save. Oh man, that was a lot of work. Is everyone good now? Aha. Whoops. You and you. Okay, almost done. I need to remember this connection name. So I'm going to put you over here. And I need these. Oh, that one has ArcGIS. I don't need the ArcGIS settings. Thanks, but no thanks. Wait, what just happened? Are we good? And then give me your app settings. And then I'll show you my app settings to show you what all I'm configuring. As soon as I can get my brain to do the things. You guys? All right, server will be local db / MS-SQL local db. Trusted connection. I don't have any username and passwords in there. And get rid of you. And finally, my placeholder SendGrid SMTP mail settings will go here. Ah, okay. Close my secrets. Save this file. Bring it back on screen. We're back. So here's essentially what the secrets look like, except with the actual information filled in. This is what I like to put inside of the actual repos themselves, because any developer picking it up can just copy and paste this into their user secrets on their development machine and then replace the server, change it from trusted connection to username password login if they need to, but everything else gets to stay the same as far as database name, and then fill in the SendGrid options. And if they're not going to be testing the SendGrid stuff, then this doesn't even matter. They don't have to specify this, or if they're going to use SMTP, they don't have to specify any of this. They can just put in a stub that says in debug, act like you sent a message, but don't actually send a message. Okay, so that takes care of our connection strings. So that's going to get set up when we... Oh, yeah, okay. So let's start here. Let's make a DB context factory to our lab data. I don't have the NuGet package. So I make all of my databases, since you saw all of the applications that I work with, I make all of my database projects their own NuGet repository that generates their own make them their own Git repositories or Azure DevOps projects that get their own NuGet packages, so that it's easy for me to just say, this application uses these databases. Here are my models. Here's my DB context for them. This new one is called the Lab Data File Import Database. I'm going to put that into the sample app server project. And then the models is going to go into the client project, which again, by the pigeonhole theory, I mean by the transitive property of dependencies, the sample app will also have that. Perfect. Save. So now I can ask for a lab data file import context. And so again, this database is specific to this process of being able to store file import configurations, the way that we're mapping from the imported columns to a target type. and then be able to retrieve them as templates for any time that we're trying to import a file. We can pick it from the templates instead of needing to reconfigure the thing over and over and over and over. So our connection string here is actually going to be builder.configuration.get connection string. This. And we may as well do the throw new invalid operation. Developer exception, no identity. Oh man. Did they already update the template for .NET 8 since the last time that I created this template? Because if they did, this is missing a lot of stuff. This is missing the add authentication, add authorization. This is missing the add identity core. Seem to update templates all the time. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. I mean, it's good. I like having the latest. But for example, I mean, I guess that just means that I need to update my NuGet version of the thing. Program.cs, please. So for example, I make all of these changes to the add identity core that I would want inside of my NuGet package. So and I think order matters here. If I want to get roles to work correctly, I need to add roles in the role manager before adding the entity framework stores. That bites. So then what good is this? Builder.services.add armits identity. I need to pass in the configuration. Builder.configuration. Options. I'm going to do this on different lines. Options. Role prefix. Right, that's awesome. That also sucks because I don't have a role for the lab data import utility. Let's just use rtrack. Rtraction. I like that. We're going to use rtrack as the role prefix because that's the thing that has the stored procedures and everything that we need to run on this. What else do we have? Data protection application name is going to be, I don't know, armits sample. Oh yeah, armits sample app, I think. Why not? Protect keys with certificate. I don't know. What do I have for everything else? Where's my add authorization core? Add cascading authentication state. Identity. Oh, this is so weird. I am missing a lot of the stuff that I put in the template. Wait, what? Add Armin's identity, singleton, DB context factory, DB context factory. Email sender, data protection. Interesting. So in the app that I already upgraded to .NET 8 using the new template, I did not put data protection. Let me open a more recent one. Maybe that's where I got that from. Repos, Armigit, Waterman, source, Blazor, this one. Okay. So this is what I'm using to copy from, which is another application. This is the one that went from VB6 to VB.NET Framework 4.5, 4.7, one of them, to Blazor. And I recently upgraded it to Blazor, or migrated it to Blazor. Data protection. Yeah, I don't have data protection in here. So I'm going to leave that as false. Services.add data protection. Yeah, I'm going to leave that as false because I don't have that anywhere else. Yes. And yeah, I don't have add authorization core, nothing like that in here. So what good are you, extension method? You should be adding all of this stuff for me. Navbar title, we'll just do sample app, or actually lab data import. Options dot opcoins. What else do we have? That's it. That's everything. Okay, so that adds our identity store as well as the extra library. So that user management library is the one that I, speaking of, did I give it the right key? Connection string key. That's making me wonder if I named the database correctly. It is called Armit Suite. User management is something else entirely. Dagnabbit. Where's app settings? So this is actually supposed to be Armit Suite. And so what I have in Armit Suite is the accepted or allowed email addresses, essentially. No. What? Why would I need Armit Suite instead of user management? Waterman. Add mapper, add DB context services, identity DB context and treatment plan connection. Oh. identity services. Which I don't have. Yay! Look, archery works. It's already congratulating you. Great job, BitGamey. You figured out how to redeem archery. It loves me. I don't know. I do need this app map additional endpoints. I know that. I really don't know if that's supposed to be the actual Armits suite or the user man. Oh, one thing at a time. We'll get there. Right click, manage user cigarette. Change you to Armit suite instead of user management. And Dukasoft says, great job, Big Gamey. You got automated ROMs to love you. Okay, what else do we need from you? Map additional endpoints, we said, and map controllers. So there are still some things that I do with this as an API, and I'm not using Fluent API. I think that's what it's called. The M word API, minimal API. All right. Let's start at the top. Add Blazor components, add interactive server and WebAssembly components. This one is WebAssembly only, which most of my apps are WebAssembly only. I wanted to make sure that I could run everything in server as well if we needed to have all our apps be server rendered. I'm not using AutoMapper in this. Add DB context services, which I'm doing down here. I don't need this anymore, which is this one. Oops. And what else are we doing in add DB context services developer exception page? Oh yes, right. This is important for me to use with my databases because the latest .NET Entity Framework did this wonderful weird thing where they now support JSON in their SQL queries. So if you did in, or I can't remember what exactly it was that translated into a JSON query, but something did. Anyway, it doesn't work with the version of SQL Server that we have running on our servers, which means that I need to upgrade it eventually. But again, solo dev. When will I have the time to do that? Anyway, all of my database connections need use compatibility level, and then this is the version that we're using. In the add Armits identity, please, please, please tell me you have them. Nope. All right, I am not using the Armits identity NuGet. It's not ready yet. It is not ready yet. We're going to do this from scratch. Why did you group together with the project references? I don't like my package references being with my project references. And it's not my fault. I blame Microsoft for grouping things together that way to begin with. It just looks better to me. So, no Blazor auth. Time 30 minutes. We got plenty of time to do this. We're going to have this project set up with authentication and everything. So for our authentication stuff, I need the ASP.NET Core Identity Server, which is, again, my organization's repo for the authentication identity store stuff. And ASP.NET Core Identity should be enough to get me it. This is the database that is going to be used in the server. You're doing a great job. Keep practicing and aiming for the center of the target. You can do it. Hey, Big Gamey, it seems you missed the target by quite a bit. Maybe try adjusting your aim next time! Exclamation point. Maybe try adjusting your tone next time. Oops, my apologies, Big Gamey. I didn't mean to come off as rude. Let's try this again. You did a great job trying to hit the target! Exclamation point. Next time, remember to adjust your aim and try to get closer to the center. Good luck! It's so aggressive. So aggressive. I think I need to tell it to stop using exclamation points. As an INTJ, I don't find it necessary to use exclamation points very often. In fact, I believe they are overused and misused. Okay, I'm gonna leave off the Armit's suite connection because I don't think we need it. Yeah. We're just gonna go based off of the water management app since this already has all the things. Not treatment plant connection. Okay, so here is my here's my oh ASP.NET Core Identity builder.services builder.configuration oh gosh, that means that I need to bring the UI back too. Dang it. Is anyone else getting claustrophobic? Okay. Database. Got it. Database filter exception page. Identity services. Apparently, we do care about the identity services part. That looks like this. Builder.services. Data protection. And we will protect keys with the thumbprint in, right, because when I deploy the apps, I actually put the certificate's thumbprint in the deployed app settings, and it uses that. And of course, if I was hosting this in a different type of service, it could pull this from environment, it could pull this from wherever else. That's the cool thing about configurations. But yeah. And other services, the only thing we care about is the email sender stuff. And so this email sender, I need to reference directly now. Why do I keep closing NuGet? Manage NuGet packages. Armits, email sender. Gimme. Okay, I didn't close it this time. Did you see that? Lowercase config is builder.configuration, and I need to do that up here so it doesn't error on me in release. Not that this is going to be a published app, but still, it's the principle of the thing. This iEmail sender is the wrong iEmail sender, and that one is... Oh, I forget which namespace that one comes from. And then I need to recreate this file and oh, or do I? Where's my no op? Yeah, this one. Okay. And then this comes from account. All right, I'm going to grab those files and pull them over so that we have them in this project. Isn't this just a fun process? Repos, get, RMA get, lab data import, source, sample app. Oh no, dang it. One more thing real quick. Wait, save. Delete. I do need to close Visual Studio, otherwise it is going to be like the file is in use. The sample app I usually create in a separate folder outside of the main solution so that you know what it is that you're looking at, what is actually involved in the library. Do the move. Okay, so Waterman, source, Blazor, yeah. All right, give me components back. Okay. It's a good thing we have good music. For those times when I get really quiet, the music is like, I'm just going to be mellow. I'm going to be chill. You could be chill too if you wanted. RMA Lab Data Import Service. I can't hear the music. Is it that low compared to my voice? All right. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you like to listen to your own music. Or just don't like having music on streams at all. In which case, hopefully it's low enough for you to be able to make it to where the music isn't a thing. Like for me, I watch multiple people's streams. So I like the people that have their music turned down enough below their voice that I can hear multiple voices and not have multiple songs playing at the same time. Plus, the 2 hours after the end of my workday, I don't know why I put that in air quotes, where when I actually work on music, I still like to lurk on people's streams and interact with them on occasion, but sometimes when the music is up too loud, I'm like, I just need to turn the stream volume way, way down. But hello, Napalm. Let's get these back in here. Add solution folder, sample app, add existing project. Web data import service, source, sample app. Let's add the client first because the server project depends on the client and I don't want it to lose its dependencies. And the server. I keep calling it server like one is server and the other is client side, but really, if you do this as a WASM app, then I guess it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, I do love this playlist. A certain fairy curated it for the stream, and she did a fantastic job finding all the right songs. No. What am I doing? I am trying to get back to program.cs for the sample. And now we should have some of these files back. I need to rename anything that says Water Management Blazor to RMA Lab Data Import Service.sample app. Not just in here. There we go. Oh. And yeah, we don't need this anymore. Maybe we do. I keep forgetting that we're using an external component library. Yeah. Oh, no, this should be fine. Okay. We're using an external component library for our routable pages is the way that I typically break it up. But in this case, since this is just a sample app, everything is going to be in the client project. So we should be good to go. So he said. Let's go away. Assembly. Sample client. Sure, that's fine with me. What else are we pulling in from water management? We were working our way down from the top. So add DB context, shared services, which is local storage and session storage and toast service, which this is coming from my component library. So we don't need that. No fluent validation, no auto mapper. What other server services? Was the email sender. We'll get to the lab data import service soon. But for now, we just want to make sure that this project builds. Okay, where are we? It said no errors. Let's see if it's lying to us. Can we upgrade it then? Oh wait, this is water management. Oh dear. Okay, about those no errors. Armid's file import utility. Right. Okay. So this now needs a reference to the NuGet package we just created for the data file import utility. But who gets it? I would give it to a project called Shared, which essentially is this model's project. I don't like how I have this structured then. So client. Ooh, I think RMA lab data import service is my shared. So we might be okay there. And then this is the actual component library. Hello, Thindle. e.14, hello, can you build a botnet with .NET? Of course you can. I'm not late. You're just streaming 2 hours before I came in. I never said you were late. I would never accuse you of being late. I think we've done a shout out for you already recently, but just in case. Haha, so Thindle is another fantastic .NET developer working on stuff. I missed your stream yesterday. Unfortunately, I wasn't even lurking anywhere at all because I was working really hard on the data import utility so that we could start working on getting it integrated. Hi, not late. I'm Bardaki. Classic Bit Gamey. Classic. But yeah, this lab data import service is the one that's going to get my data import utility NuGet reference. And I think we saw that the latest was 948. File import utility. Oh, it's right here. 1.0.948. Cool. No worries, Mike. It ended up a bit abruptly because my computer did a hard power cycle. Just black screen. Mine has done that a few times too many. It scares me. Because I think one of the hard drives crashed on another computer because of it. Oh, come on, models. You don't need your own reference to it, do you? It does because it doesn't reference anything else. I need to consider putting any models for the import utility in its own NuGet package. I don't like having the full dependency in a project that doesn't need everything from that package. That's just a me thing. File import. Safe. Okay, so now we have that dependency resolved. Now we can see what is actually broken. Email service. Come on, identity email sender. This is Armit's email service now. And now you can't be resolved because you don't know which one to use. Senders interface, email sender. Okay, who else? Share doesn't exist. Fine. Right. I do need my application globals. I need to update my persistent authentication state provider from... Actually, let's just go into the code. Let's do it from here. Today is one of those days I wish I worked as a street sweeper. Oh no. Just a tiny bit. Extremely annoying. I started backing everything up to my NAS so I can reinstall this one. More convincing argument for getting a NAS. TBD said, outside, my only concern on making the street the cleanest I can make it. Oh, is making the street the cleanest I can make it. Because it sure as heck beats trying to push a large boulder uphill. In the snow. Both ways. Which is what software development feels like right now. Vindel says, when you're done for the day, I'd love to steal your attention in the Blazor chat channel for a bit. Your opinion matters to me. Might not be able to give that to you because in about 13 minutes, I'm going to stop the stream to get ready for a meeting with AWS. And then I'm going to finish the rest of my workday and then go cook. If I happen to be able to see Discord in the evening after that, then maybe, but my wife gets my time after. I was wanting to get the persistent authentication state. Give me this, copy, and you. Impasta. All right, so this adds what? Oh, right. User info needs to get updated too. Man, all of these things to remember. Take me to user info. This is why I wanted to have all of this stuff inside of a NuGet package that I can add to any of my projects that I'm going to be converting over to .NET 8. So we'll most likely do that as our next thing. We're going to update the Blazor auth NuGet package after we get this deployed. This lab data helper thing. And so we can have, I can show essentially how you might be able to create your own NuGet package for adding authentication to your Blazor app. It's essentially just using the same template that they give you now with .NET 8 and above, except that it should be able to work with more than just that. And it can be extremely customized to your specific identity store. And you can reuse it across different apps. Okay, that gets rid of those errors. That gives us our roles. This is our being able to read the roles. The issue is I don't have application globals anymore, which would belong in a shared project. But since I don't have a shared project, I'm going to put those directly into my client project. General, application global. Don't need the namespace. TBD Gamer said to Thindle, who asked, is there anything I can help you with? Thindle said, I wish it were possible. I'm not actually a developer these days, just an ideas person without any possibility of getting my ideas implemented. But you are a developer on your streams for at least 2 hours every weekday morning. So check him out. Yeah, sure. We're going to put it directly in here. I don't understand putting everything in folders and then leaving the models not in a folder. This is called application globals. Tyrant says, I don't think one can become not a developer. Once a dev, always a dev. Right, and we need an app role too. Summon a biscuit eater. Waterman. Watermelon. This is lab data sample. Oh, right. We were going to do rtrack as our role prefix. And then we can do lab data import for both the nav bar title and the browser tab title. And then the content is going to be in too lazy to type. Here. So then you need a www root. Although it's kind of interesting that the client project doesn't, even though it has a whole bunch of pages, is not going to have a www root in their template. So we're going to just go with image in case we do add any images to this. App role is going to be a... Oh, that's interesting. Why do I have application globals in there? An enum. And app role is going to be user, is the only one that we're going to care about for this app. So this is going to translate into rtrack pipe user if we ask for user dot full role name. And then TBD responded to Tyrant saying, like the Marines. However, I introduce you to management. And then Big Amy says, I want to create a game about tying ropes. I want to be a not developer. Clever names as always for your games, for your bit games. Okay, so that got rid of that error. What else do we have? No, give me this. This is a better place to look for errors. CSproj could not find, excuse me, I can't see. Right, I forgot to update my project references since I moved this out to ... backslash ... You know what? We are just going to re-reference it. That'll be easier. There. Wait, it was just ... backslash. It's this one that needs the re-reference. Yay, what are we celebrating? I think becoming a dev changes your brain forever, says Tyron. It cannot be undone. Oh, what am I doing? You don't get the service directly. You get server. You get client. Okay, what else do we have? Import data file does not exist, or it doesn't have a data file's descriptors. It has a Table definitions, try get, field descriptors. So these are from the updates that I did to the library. There are no mappable fields. There are no mappable fields. This is all getting rewritten anyway. A lot of this stuff is now in the data import utility. Yeah, it's in the data import utility now. Okay, what else? This is looking good. This is looking good. Oh. There is no shared. So there is no sample app shared general. Which this one doesn't need, apparently. I don't know why you were trying to use that. Hello, Deflux! Oh yeah, this is looking good. TBD says, uh-oh, Deflux is here. There goes the neighborhood. It's not that bad. Drop the bass. Extension, no. See me trying to act like that didn't scare the bejeebus out of me? President Hutcher says, I heard that. I'll turn that down just a little bit.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I got a better feeling about this. Oh, we're so close to getting rid of all of the errors, and then we have our sample app project set up and ready to do the do. I mean, there's still, yeah, almost ready. What I will do is finish all the program. Turn it down. What's the fun in that? Well, it's still loud in my ears. It won't turn down in my ears. The fun in it is that you still get to surprise me with it and give me a heart attack without, you know, alienating people that don't like loud noises on the stream.
Make it so.
Make it so. But I do appreciate the bits. I didn't say thank you for that. I never said thank you. I'm trying to find this. Why are you still telling me that there is a namespace that doesn't exist? Pages doesn't exist in true. This is true. Now take me to the file. The file is account shared layout. Components, account, shared, layout. This is why it didn't take me here. Oh. This is something that I do need to pull over. Pull over is the pages. I am so blind. Does anyone see Blazor UI? Pages. Shared. Main layout. Pages. Shared. Oh, wait. We can put it in here. Cool. Does exist. Save that. Why are you implementing iDisposable? What are we doing in one line? Trying to seem serious with a dancing pickle over his head. Wait, come back. Come back. Is that pickle trying to twerk? There's a twerking turkey? Oh, that's Clayman's. Oh, it's Clayman's character, main character thing. Okay. Yes, don't care about any of that stuff. Do we care about this stuff? Set.js runtime. Don't care. We don't care about any of that stuff, so we don't need to implement iDisposable. That was all water management specific code. That's all water management specific code. You know what? We're just going to leave the layout as this, and our layout is going to be sample app, client, layout, main layout. What else? Man, am I going to be able to pull over all of the program.cs stuff and run it before the meeting? I do want at least 10 minutes before the meeting to get my brain thinking about AWS architecture. Nobody ever wants to do that. Actually, there are probably people that love architecture, so definitely no offense to you. I really do hope you get to enjoy doing architecture. All right, that looked like it built. So let's get our two program CSs up only. Those are the only two things that I want to work on at the moment. Program.cs for the server, program.cs for the client. I'm going to put them side by side with the one for water management. Oops. No. How about here? There you go. We'll squish you down, make it easier to see, I hope. Program.cs. And program.cs. Okay. Looks like client would be the easiest one to start with. This is weird. Why isn't it using top level statements in client? Why isn't it using top level statements? I don't remember unchecking that option. Whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah. Is this even the same project that we were working on this whole time? Why am I just now realizing that we had public static void main? So odd. Architecture, say you. I mean, you say. Not listexit at all. No. You're imagining things. I do need a HTTP client, please. I don't need this message handler. And you come from, oh, who knows? WebAssembly hosting? No. System.net.http? No. Yeah, this is super weird. Where do you come from? Microsoft extensions, dependency injection. This is so weird. Is there a NuGet package in client that gives me my HTTP client? Yes. Microsoft extensions HTTP. And I'm assuming that there's a version 11. NuGet packages. Come on, Blaines. Keep up. No update. Oh. No, there is no extensions update to 8.0.11. Okay. I believe you. We'll leave you as is. You're fine. That fixes that. Auto mapper, client services. What do we have in our client services? Conversation core. Authentication state provider persistent. Client services. Cool. The actual services that we're using, so that's good. We don't have any of those. Shared services is our automapper, Blazor local storage, Toast service, state management, UI services. Good. We should be good to go for all of our client dependencies. Setups. And last pass through here. Deflex says, I love that .NET outdated tooling. Does all the hard work. Guy Creative, we were going to raid you. No. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm not on for too much longer. I'm just finishing up my program.cs for a sample app for the data file import utility that we just got. I have a meeting in 20 minutes that I want to prepare for. Yeah, I did a shout out at the beginning of the stream because I was like, we're going to finally check him out. Because I think on Monday we said we were going to raid you if you started streaming, but I don't really remember what happened. No, you rated us on Monday is what happened. Man, but that's cool. I really, really, really appreciate it. If you do a / and then the word shout out and then the channel name, CRE8IVE, like this, except without a space at the beginning, then that will do the shout out itself. The way that Dukasoft did earlier. It's a / command. Deflux says, as always, being Wednesday one of my other top streamers I follow is going live. I will not say his name, but I think you know who I mean if you're looking for suggestions. Because I am, well, yeah, I mean, we'll probably go to Sedlix. Yeah, but I'll have to raid and then prepare for the meeting. I really don't like raiding and running. Oh yeah, thank you, Big Amy. I've done that before. So, Guy Creative, your stream is still streaming. Just remember to stop the stream after you are done raiding. Thank you, Big Gamey. You're the best. I got the best peoples showing up here, hanging out with us. You're all amazing. We did these server services. We said we didn't need cascading authentication state, identity accessor, redirect manager, authentication state provider, add authentication, add identity cookies, all of this stuff we don't have. Oh, I moved it down here because my databases. Okay. This is setting up identity core so that it can also use the roles. Yeah, if you want to raid and run, that's completely okay. I'm okay with other people doing that to me. I really, really appreciate you bringing in your stream to this stream. I'll introduce myself here shortly. I'm almost done going through this to make sure that everything is set up. I don't have options and authorization core. Add options. So I'm gonna put you here, and then the email sender. Developer exception page. Did I lose this one too? No, it's still there. Data protection. Add controllers using Newtonsoft. I don't think, well, yes, I will. We will be sending stuff to the database during this project to get stored. So I'm going to set up my controllers to use Newtonsoft to do the serializing and deserializing. System.net has gotten a lot better. So JSON, the JSON that you get with the .NET framework has gotten a lot better. However, it's still not quite great. I want to put it in the client project. Manage NuGet packages. Why is this so hard? What did you did? Where am I missing? Oh, thank you getting tired. How do you do shoutouts? I still don't know how to do that. There was a message. Oh, I did it a couple of times myself, so I finally set it to disconnect automatically. And then Dukasoft was asking how to do that. And then Guy Creative said, I have OBS on its own screen, so I would have seen it. Yeah, cool. Me too. Same. So same. I am looking for Newtonsoft from specifically NuGet.org. Or was this supposed to be ASP.NET Core? Oh man, I don't remember. Which package are we getting this from? This one. Dang it. Not this one. Okay, well, since I'm probably not going to get through this before time to go to the meeting, I will introduce myself to all of the people that came in with the raid. Again, thank you so much for the raid. I really, really appreciate that. I am One Lion. I'm a .NET developer working, doing my day job essentially as I stream, as my stream content. And I lost train because I just now realized that I need to include SQL Server and all that stuff. Oh, it should be there. Thank you. So I am a solo developer working at the Rocky Mountain National Wildlife Refuge. It is a place in Denver, Colorado that used to be an army installation that manufactured chemical weapons during World War I, World War II era, and disposed of those chemicals in various ways. There was a chemical manufacturing company that did buy some of the land, and they didn't dispose of their chemicals in good ways either. So there was this big environmental issue. They became a Superfund site. That's so hard to say without making it weird. They became a Superfund site. I know, I'm getting there. Which meant that they had to clean up the environment. They were hit with a whole bunch of lawsuits and stuff in the past, and the Environmental Protection Agency in the US was all over it, and they're like, yeah, we need to get this cleaned up. But then I probably did the HTML document conversion for that Superfund site. Definitely possible. It's us and Pueblo Chemical Depot that were the primary ones in this area. Yeah. But I mean, like, we manage the documents for all of the sites. So anyway, what I do now is I manage and maintain the applications that they use for collecting the soil sample, water sample data, water level data, environmental information, like going out and inspecting the actual vegetation that's growing, the flora and fauna of the site, of the arsenal, of the wildlife refuge, and reporting them to the EPA. So we have reporting requirements that we need to meet. We have a whole bunch of documents dating back to 1960. I forget what day we found was the earliest document that we had in the database, but early, like 50 plus years ago, kind of documents. They have had to search through those. So we have an application for doing the document management. We have an application for displaying all of the data as charts, as data tables, the actual map. So we use ArcGIS in that application. We have applications for ordering sample tests to be done by labs and tracking those samples being collected and sent to them and the results. And we have the actual application the labs use to report the findings back to us. And we have since we are a star rating site, I don't know what the terminology is, but we have the environmental best practices, or safety best practices, and we're recognized as having high safety practices. One of the things that we do is we collect feedback about positive safety practices that you see on site, or negative safety violations that you might see, and it's maintained through this other application called hazard tracking that I also maintain. The application started off as JSP. When I first got here, I was told to get them from JSP and VB6 to some .NET technology. I made those MVC applications because at the time I knew MVC the best. Blazor wasn't out yet, and converted them, all of the apps that I just mentioned, within a year from JSP to MVC, whereas the previous developers were quoting about 4 years per app, or 4 years total, something. It was going to take them quite a while longer. When I actually got to the site to start working, none of the previous devs were around. So I got to do that with a help desk person who became my junior developer, who had very little to no development experience. Really bright guy, really smart, really helpful. Couldn't have done it without him. But we got all of the apps converted. And then as I was converting the last desktop app to VB.NET WinForms, Blazor was coming out, and I'm like, I really want to use Blazor. I want to know what this is about. So once Blazor Server GA was released, I converted that desktop app to Blazor, and it was so much fun. And by the time I was finished with it, Blazor WebAssembly was GA'd, and I converted it, or I made it a Blazor WebAssembly, and I've been working in Blazor ever since. So that's what you'll see me doing on stream, is maintaining those applications. I still have a .NET Framework application that I need to, or 2 of them, to upgrade to Blazor, and I want to upgrade all of the apps to .NET 9 eventually. Oh, so there we go. That's my backstory. What were you doing, Guy Creative? I should have asked that first so that you could have told me while I was giving my spiel, because I'm gonna end the stream very, very soon. I was dreading the thought of rewriting everything, but I love coding in Blazor. Yeah, my favorite task is modernizing legacy applications. I was just working on my domain management app. Awesome. Yeah, I was seeing some really cool graphics on your screen. Yeah. So I have the streams that I lurk on a screen over here, and I can see them, but I can't really hear because, of course, I'm too busy making noise with my own mouth, with my own pie hole, aka voice. I mean, sound frequency distortion, something complex. Sound distortion complexes? Yeah. But anyway, that's going to be it for the stream today. Graphics, my UI looks like it was designed by a third grader. Then I have no idea what exactly it was that you were looking at, but I looked up and I was like, man, that's a pretty clean looking web app. Maybe you were just looking at other designs and stuff. I am going to go to this screen. I have a meeting in 10 minutes now with AWS to find out if we can restructure. So yeah, we can definitely raid Bardaki. We could have, so I guess up to you guys. I had a suggestion to raid Settlix, and now I have a suggestion to raid Bardaki. Does anyone have a preference on which to raid? Bardaki is a game developer working in Unity. Advanced UI, 3rd grade. Seriously, my UI still looks like, well, when I'm not spending days, it's not even hours, it's weeks on UI, my UI looks like it's straight out of 1994, 1995, 96. It's terrible. Okay, so we have 2 votes for Bardaki. And if no one lets me know in the next, I don't know, 10 seconds, because again, I got to get ready for this meeting, and part of that means running away from my desk for a minute. TBD says, mine looks like a bunch of kindergartners ran around with crayons. I'll vote Bardaki. All right, we have a quorum or something. So I'm going to shout out Bardaki, who we're about to head out to. If you're not following him, here's your opportunity. And we're going to raid Bardaki. I will be back again on Friday. No. Wait. Next time the streamer is about to raid out? Bardaki is about to raid out? Let me turn him up. Are you telling me Barty's about to... Oh. Yes. Okay. Raiding Bardaki. His stream is marked as intended for mature audiences, but so is Settlix's, I think. Oh. You were talking to Automated Roams. I'll be back again on Friday. All of my streams are posted to YouTube after the stream. So if you're interested in what we've been working on this whole time, feel free to check out the playlist for this project specifically. Again, it's the work project. I'm going to keep all of the videos in the work playlist, but then I'm going to separate them by project. So this is the lab data import helper thing. I can't wave as good as those ducks. Just look at them. Look at how amazing they are. But Friday is when I'll be back, 9:30 or 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, UTC -7. The reason I do it at 10:30 on Fridays is because I do community days, and that cuts into my actual work days. So I still want to end my work day by 3:30, but I'll most likely stream after community day my work product stuff again. So ciao for now. I will see you on the laters.